Salamun alaikum. I'd like to thank the organizers of the South African Quranic Conference 2011 for affording me this opportunity to speak today. Most especially Brother Imran Gundiwala, or Imran Bhai, as I affectionately call him. Imran Bhai and myself have become rather close compatriots on Facebook, where we share our ideas and have rather meaningful discussions. At least for me, I've really benefited from Imran Bhai's knowledge. And Alhamdulillah, I can't believe that it was only 2 years ago that I read about your conference in Free Minds. And here I am today being given this wonderful opportunity to speak. So I'd like to thank you all for it, and thank you all for listening. There are, of course, some of you who say that Imran Bhai gave me the job because we share similar hairstyles. And I'd like to dispel that myth. That is absolutely not true. He also gave me the job because nobody else would take it. I was a perfect filler for the slot. So be that as it may, I hope I will vindicate Imran Bhai's choice today. My name is Farouk A. Piru. I am originally from Malaysia, and I am a Muslim. I believe that the Quran should be the sole source of Islam. I believe that Islamic traditions are products of human beings and therefore fallible, and they are questionable. And I believe that the Muslim Ummah have not fulfilled their destiny because they have abandoned the Quran. So that's my essential position. Right, so why am I here today? I'm here today to sell you a tool. What is a tool? A tool is something which makes your task easier. It makes it more effective. It makes it more efficient. But you can still do without it. The only thing is your task will be made all that much more difficult. Let's say you're chopping wood. Try chopping wood with a penknife, and you'll be there for decades trying to get the tree to fall. Then you could try using a hacksaw, and it may take you a few hours. Or you could use a power saw, and you'll be there for a matter of minutes. So it's essentially performing the same task, however with an increased measure of ease and efficiency. And that is what I'm trying to sell you today. I'm trying to sell you ease and efficiency in the fulfillment of our task, the reaching of our goal. What is our goal, though? We need to discuss what our goal is. And I think we all agree that our goal is the establishment of Quranic values in the world. Now, this is not the establishment of a religious empire. No, it is rather the establishment of systems which will bring about the fulfillment of human potential. That is what the Quran is about. But yet, the people who are bringing the Quran to the world are not effective enough, so much so that the Quran is being misconstrued as something it is not. Well, people say the Quran is a book promoting violence, it oppresses women, it wants you to stop thinking, and a whole lot of other myths. We would like to dispel this. So how can we do this? Well, with this tool, inshallah, we can move more effectively towards this goal. So what is this tool? This tool is a concept called Quranist Islam, or Quranism, or in Arabic it'll be Al-Islam Al-Qurani, or Quraniyah in Arabic. So this is essentially a thought pattern which we adopt and we propagate to make our task easier. So before I begin the presentation proper, I'd like to first introduce you to how this topic came about. Um, Essentially, it started like maybe in 2003 for me, when the Free Minds Forum first started, and we were discussing a movement. The movement never materialized, as do many things in the Quranic world. But we were discussing it at the time, and we thought about what the name of the movement should be. And I was quite cavalier at the time. I was thinking, whoa, wait a minute. The Quran says He has named you Al-Muslimin, and that's what you need to do. You need to call yourself Al-Muslimin. Unfortunately then, or rather fortunately, as the case turned out, I met with this guy. His name is Anwar Goins, and he's one of the most prolific researchers into the Quran. And he showed me that the term Muslim is not how we understand it. I mean, it is a descriptive term rather than a nominal term, a term of denoting a name. So it has a substance rather than simply a sound. So from that point on, I adopted the name Quranist without much thought. In fact, my earliest website in 2003, there is a section called Interview with a Quranist, where I air my views about Hadith and Sunnah. So without much thought then, I used the term Quranist. And I've been using the term ever since without very many problems. Then we fast forward to the end of 2010, where I started a group on Facebook called Quranology Discussions. And I proceeded to use this term Quranist without much thought, as usual. And we had a tremendous backlash from the community. Not traditional Muslims, but our own people. So, I mean, they had legitimate concerns. You know, they thought, okay, this is a new sect, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I appreciate their apprehension. But anyway, this is how I came to discuss and consider this term. And through experimentation, at least in the last 8-9 months or so, I have come to see the effectiveness of this term in propelling us to our goals. And that is what I hope to share with you today, if I may. And so, without further ado, let's get into it. So we return to the title of this presentation, which is the formation of the Quranist identity. What is an identity? It is a sense of who we are. It is never without a context. For example, if you were with your family, you could be a father, or if you went back to your parents' place, you could be a son, or if you went to your uncle's place, you would be a nephew, or if you went to your son-in-law's place, you could be a father-in-law, and on and on. So an identity depends on context. In a school, for example, you could be a teacher or a student. In a workplace, you could be an employee or an employer or something else. So identities are subject to endless permutations and combinations, and that composition of identity goes into making who you are. So for the purposes of this discussion, we are talking about a particular context, and that context is Islam. In the world, when I say Islam, what am I referring to? I am referring to a religion. Islam has a series of theological beliefs. That makes it a religion. It has some rites and rituals. That makes it a religion. Islam is also a community of people, the Ummah. Islam is also a civilization. It has a long history of growth, and its civilizational elements are present in much of the world today. So Islam manifests itself in several different ways. There's even an Islamic philosophy. So it is not really Islamic substantially, it's just philosophy by Muslim people. So what is Islam? Islam, for the purposes of this discussion, is a world. You enter into the world of Islam and you will see for yourself, people have certain names, people eat a certain way, people have certain cultural values. This is Islam, and Islam is a reality in the world. So what does Islam have to do with us? Some of you will ask this question, what does Islam have to do with us? Because, we're dealing with the Quran. The Quran is a divine product. Whereas Islam, the way you just described it, as in how I just described it, is a human product. So it's not the same thing. That is true, except for the fact that within this world of Islam is where we extract our text. Where does the Quran come from? I mean, if you went to a church, for example, and you said, "Oh, can you please talk to me about the Quran?" The priest will look at you and think, is this guy trying to, double cross me in some way, maybe? You see what I'm saying? I mean, the Quran belongs to a particular cultural context. It comes from the world of Islam. It is a divine text, no doubt about it, but it is the Muslim people who carry it. And we need to respect this. In fact, the Quran respects this, because the Quran calls them the Ahl al-Dhikr, the people of the dhikr. So they are constantly reciting the Quran, protecting it through its recitation. It doesn't mean they understand it, let alone practice it, but they certainly hold it as an icon, and we need to respect that. So where does this put us? So there we have it. We have the world of Islam. The world of Islam is present in every corner of the world. All you have to do is just go to the bookshop, find a book on Islam, and you will see that this world of Islam being detailed. There are two strategies which our community can adopt vis-a-vis the world of Islam. The first strategy is to close your eyes. Pretend as if this world does not exist. So that I have seen that in action, and let me tell you, it is not very effective. What these people have done, these people are, they believe in the Quran as the sole source of Islam, but they act as if the world of Islam does not exist. So they call themselves, they say, oh, this group is the Islamic group, for example. I mean, that's obviously, to get a name like the Islamic group on the net is very difficult, but let's assume they call themselves the Islamic group. So what happens when you call yourself Islamic without any qualifier? People who consider themselves Muslims will flock to you. And you will find in these groups being bombarded with hadith after hadith after hadith. And then, the admin will raise the objection, oh, we don't believe in hadith. So then the traditionalists, the people who brought the hadith, they will say, oh, wait a minute, then you're not Muslims. And the admin will say, yes, we are. And they'll have an argument about who is a Muslim and who's not, and it is endless. It is really endless. And I believe that that is one of the reasons why we are not moving forward, because we have decided to blind ourselves to the reality of the existence of the gigantic world of Islam. Islam exists as a world.